Hey there, welcome to another episode of Tales from the Podcast. I'm your host, JB. Before I go ahead and get started, definitely want to make sure I tell everyone to check out some of our sponsors. For instance, go over to housemysterioussecrets.com and use our code 4130, save 10% on all your awesome horror merch there. Also, if you're into wax melts, we got somebody who's sponsoring us with that as well. And you can use our code TFTP20 to save on there as well. And all of that has been shared in the chats for everybody to check out. And last but not least, obviously check out the website. Do everything I can to keep it up to date, and it's a place where you go click it on there and buy this fucking comic book, or not buy the comic book. But we are working on another one, so you might want to catch up first and get the first one first here. Now, we're going to go ahead and jump into the episode, though. This week, got my buddy Corney joining me as we talk about the movie The Ritual. How's it going, buddy?
What's up, JB? I'm doing okay.
Yeah. I'm going to go ahead and start off the episode by apologizing to you that you watched The Ritual.
Yeah. Too bad it wasn't the wrong Ritual. It was I guess a UK film a couple years ago called Ritual.
The Netflix one?
Yeah, the Netflix one.
That is such a good movie.
I know. I kind of wish I was watching that instead.
I trust me, man. Every time I think about this movie, I'm like, man, I'd much rather watch the other Ritual movie. This one really isn't the best thing in the world, especially for something that eventually ended up getting branded as a Tales from the Crypt movie. So, yeah, unfortunately, that is a thing.
Yeah.
But before we jump into this, man, how's everything going? How's the From the Canopy Network and all this podcast over there?
It's fun. I'm just reviewing movies with Corey Monkey Blood once a week. Last couple of weeks, I hadn't really seen anything in theater. Hopefully, Knock at the Cabin Door will be something to talk about this coming week.
Yeah.
A couple of weeks ago, I went and saw Skinamarink. I'm still somewhat undecided on that film. I don't know if you heard of it, JB.
I've heard of it, and I'm hearing people on both sides, and I've been holding off. I tend to hold off on movies quite a bit, though. I mean, I just watched Megan finally, like probably a couple of days ago.
I really like Megan.
In a few weeks, me and a buddy of mine, we decided to do this episode, but I personally have a very, very big problem with this man named Jason Blum. And how much I think he puts out a bunch of bullshit movies. This being, for instance, Megan is one of the movies he produced. But I mean, we're going to be doing a little retrospective on Jason Blum and Blumhouse films. But I think I need to get you on there with us, man, because I mean it's going to be interesting to say the least.
I kind of like a lot of Blumhouse films, so I don't. You might not
that's the thing, though, is you need people on all aspects of it.
Okay.
Me personally, I mean, it's just like there's just a lot of there's a lot of movies that just aren't good. That he's, for instance, he ruined me, and my whole opinion of him changed entirely with Black Christmas.
Okay, yeah, I didn't care for that remake at
And
all.
I mean, it ruined it for me. Like I never wanted anything else to do with him.
But we did get out from him, and that was
Yes,
a good movie.
yes,
That was a good
yeah.
film.
But we also got Halloween Ends from him. We also got the Firestarter remake from him. I mean, so it'll be
I
it'll be fun.
apologize for liking Jason Blum now. Yeah, because those were two. That Firestarter might be one of the worst movies I've seen in a long time.
You went from I like Jason Blum to good. I'm changing my whole opinion within 3
Yeah,
movies.
screw that guy.
But no, for real though, we are gonna be me and my buddy Shanty are gonna be doing. We're gonna be setting it up here, but we thought it'd be a fun idea. But you just get a whole group of movie reviewers together and really break down Blumhouse films.
Okay, okay.
Because like realistically, they are unfortunately putting out the majority of the horror films that we get to see nowadays.
Yes.
And like I explained to my buddy Shanty, it's like, yeah, of course you're gonna have hits when you put out 30 movies a year and one's not a
Something
hit.
has to be good. Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Just by the odds of it, one of them has to be okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
you know, but it just is what it is.
Yeah.
But anyways, let's go ahead and talk about this movie a little bit. So to go ahead
We
and,
have to.
I mean, I kind of promised everybody that I was going to talk about Tales from the Crypt when I started this podcast about 5 years ago, and I will fully admit that I have been putting this one off. Um, in fact, I mean, I've really been putting it off. I really didn't want to do this movie. I was trying to figure out a way to just be discrediting it entirely from being a Tales from the Crypt film, even though it wasn't initially released as one and it was kind of added in. It's still it's rough. It is a really really rough one. And I mean, there was never a plan to even have a Tales from the Crypt third movie after Bordello of Blood because it was such a fucking flop.
Yeah.
Rituals technically, for those who are big horror fans, especially classic horror, if you ever saw the 43 film, I walked with a zombie. This was supposed to be a loose remake of that,
Okay.
which makes a little bit more sense than compared to this. For those who have seen this movie or thinking about seeing this movie, I strongly suggest you checking out the intro scenes, which you can see readily all over YouTube, and you can see just the production difference that they use with the Tales from the Crypt puppet with the Crypt Keeper. First off, the film looks like it's actually filmed. I mean, it has actual decent quality, but the Crypt Keeper segments look like they were put together in 20 minutes with a 360p fucking cell phone.
Yeah, it looked like a camcorder. Yeah.
They weren't done very well. The puppet wasn't the same puppet. I mean, everything in there was just so fucking bad. I mean, it was rough. David's chiming in already. This movie made by RKO Pictures, yep. Who used to be Popular Pictures in the 30s and 40s, and they made a lot of, yep. Well, yeah, I mean, exactly. RKO did work on a lot of stuff, but I mean, unfortunately, they kind of, with this movie, kind of showed that they were no better than Asylum.
Yeah.
I mean, even with the CGI and everything, it was rough.
Honestly, you just showed me that introduction because I rented this on iTunes last night, and that intro wasn't on, digital, copy that I watched, not streamed or whatever. So
it's I'd almost prefer to not even think about this having a Crypt Keeper segment. In a way, I feel that it almost hurts the fans of the Tales from the Crypt community.
yeah, it was so off-putting and everything too. It had him with dreads. It didn't look like
His
the same puppet at all. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it was a hard plastic doll. It wasn't even the same.
Okay.
The only thing that was the same about it was the simple fact that they had Kassir still doing the voice.
Okay.
But um, now, for those who don't know, this movie was directed by Avi Nasher. I think it's Avi maybe Avi. Um, Personally, as far as his work, I really am not somebody who knows a lot of it. Like Past Life, Love Letter to Cinema, The Secrets, The Matchmaker. Um, there wasn't a lot that he did personally that was at least something that was mm, something I would personally remember. It looks like his biggest stuff on here was being the writer for Past Life, The Other Story, Turn Left at the End of the World, and The Matchmaker.
Okay.
Uh, does any of that even ring a bell to you?
No, not at all. Um,
Yeah. I mean, I just personally just don't know it. I mean, the guy has credits. He's been working in this, God damn, for somebody who's this much time working in this, I mean, because like going all the way back, his first movie was The Band in 1978. So for somebody who's worked from 1978 to still having stuff being released as of 2021, to make The Ritual in 2002, I mean, it's like he didn't even try.
yeah, yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know how he got the job and how he became a director. Like, I really don't.
Might have lost a bet.
Right. He lost the bet and had to direct this movie. Um the uh the writer for this, I'm gonna go ahead and just throw the credit out there as Anise Wallace, because Kurt Sidemek and Ardell Ray, they did the screenplay for I Walked with a Zombie, and this right
Okay.
here was supposed to, yeah. So Inez Wallace was the person that kind of updated it for this, and he did work for writing with I Walked with a Zombie, as well as the story for this right here.
Okay.
So this guy is literally only known for doing this movie as well as the original version of what this movie was. So I mean, uh, in that aspect, that's cool. I guess. I mean, I guess when you know what you're good at, kind of stay to it. Unfortunately, nobody was good at this one. To get into some of the cast, we obviously, I mean, I don't know, realistically, like there's like two big names that you're gonna really know from this one. Jennifer Grey's in this. I'm pretty sure everybody knows who Jennifer Grey is, right? Dirty Dancing, Ferris
Yes.
Bueller's Day Off, Red Dawn. I mean, she's fucking been around.
Yeah.
Everybody knows
Yeah.
who she is. You see her face, you're like, oh, okay. So we got her in here, as well as one of my favorite all time actors is in this too, Mr. Tim Curry.
Oh yeah.
Um, I don't care who you are, you gotta have some love for this guy, even if you like him as some of his like shittier stuff, like
This.
what. I mean, you guys in there, yeah. He isn't like everything good though. Like he does so much. I just love him to
Yeah.
death,
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah.
I always like to think about him in what was it, the scary movie scene with him and the big nipples.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is something that always pops in my head every time I see him.
Him and Home Alone 2 is what that and Rocky Horror Picture Show is
Oh yeah,
two.
Rocky Horror is always a big one. I just
Yeah.
every time I see him, just like it's hard to get the image of a man with very long nipples out of your head, and with Tim Curry's face attached to it. It's like, yeah, yeah. We also got Greg Sheffer in this as well. Um, he was in Fire in the Sky. That's kind of like the only thing I really could notice him from personally. He's done a lot of TV movies and TV shows as well, but as far as I can really go through and see, I mean, that was like the main thing that I knew him for. Um, if you're into fantasy movies, I know he was in one of the Merlin movies that wasn't the greatest, but uh, oh yeah, you know what? He was also in Hellraiser. He was in Inferno.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So that
Not my favorite Hitler.
there's that. Um, so yeah, we got that. Oh God, yeah, I forgot about this one too. He was in the Teen Wolf TV series.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah. The one from the
is that
80s.
on MTV?
No, no, I'm talking the one from the 80s, like the cartoon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a lot older. But yeah, so I mean he's done some stuff that's cool. Um, I mean, you got quite a few other people in this as well. Wilson is in this as well. Um, I honestly, I, only thing I can think of her from is that she was in that Dungeons and Dragons movie from 2000, and
Yeah, and I think I remember her being like Eddie Murphy's wife in a film, but I cannot think of what film.
you're thinking
Was
of his
Day to Daycare?
daughter, and I think it was his daughter in Doctor Doolittle, wasn't it? Or was it his
You think so?
wife?
No,
I,
no, she would have been older in this.
uh,
For some reason, I thought she was like in
yeah.
Day to Daycare or something like that. Or
Well, I mean that's a lot older than or newer than um, Doctor Doolittle. Because Doctor Doolittle was what, like 98?
okay, She was his wife.
Yeah.
Okay,
She was also in Mega Python versus Gatoroid. If you ever saw that blockbuster hit from 2011. She was in Twitches 2, Walking Tall. I mean, she's actually had a little bit more of a career. I'll give her that. I almost feel bad for her because she did Doctor Doolittle 2, Dungeons and Dragons, and then did The Ritual. It's
okay.
like
So
she's
she was his wife in Doctor Dolittle. Okay. That's what
all right.
okay.
It was like her career was so much better before she
This
did
movie.
The Ritual. Man, I think this movie might have like really knocked her down a peg. Let's see, we got Daniel Lapine in this as well. Um, let's see, I knew he was in the Black Mirror series. That's about the only thing I can really recall him from. I know he's done a bunch of shit, but it's like a bunch of stuff that's unimportant to me, if you will. A lot, a lot of TV shows. I mean, Jack the Giant Slayer. And it was Zero Dark 30, Dirt 3. He was in Walking Dead for a few episodes. There's a
Okay.
lot of TV shit, honestly. I mean, nothing huge. I would, say. At least as far as like going through his IMDb, I mean, I can't see anything that was, super noticeable. We got Gabriel Cassis in this as well. He was in Takers and Bedazzled. I always remember him in Bedazzled. He was the cellmate for Elliot.
Oh, okay.
If you
Oh,
ever, like,
only thing I ever remember seeing him in, other than this, is he was Denzel Washington's brother in Fallen.
yeah, I know he was in Black Hawk Down as well.
I don't remember seeing him. I don't remember him from Black Hawk Down at all.
Yeah, I mean he's been in a lot of shit, but it's like it's never the big role,
Yeah.
you know. I will say, just because this doesn't get to come up very often, he was in one of the worst TV series ever for one episode.
What TV series was this?
The Crow Stairway to Heaven.
I don't even remember seeing that.
Dude, the series for The Crow is such a disappointment, especially like I'm a huge Crow fan, and just seeing that was just, oh my god, it's so bad. It is so fucking bad.
I'm looking through IMDb right now and trying to wonder what year that Crow series came on.
Oh god, when was that? That was, I think, 90s. See David's chiming in again, and yeah, Tim Curry did do some of the voice work on the Tales from the Crypt radio show. So yeah, you're right there. That's for sure. My buddy Jeff from Skewered Universe is in here. It's what's up,
What's up?
Nightbreed. I don't remember what that's in reference to. And he's always, oh, it's that guy. Yeah. I mean, yeah, you're not wrong there. say we got Ron Taylor in this as well. Ron Taylor, he was I remember seeing him in Twin Peaks as well as Deep Space Nine. I know he's done quite a bit of shit as well, but I I think this was the last. Yeah, this was the last thing he did before he passed.
Okay.
But he did quite a bit of stuff. He did some of the voice work on. He was he did one of the voices on Real Monsters, but he did one of my favorite voices on The Simpsons. He was the voice of Bleeding Gums Murphy.
Really?
Yeah, so if you remember
Saxophone
that
player.
character, you know,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. But no, he, he's one of those where it's like sad to see him go. Like he had a pretty decent career, that's for sure.
Yeah.
He was the superintendent Archibald on this movie. Um, see what we got. Dorothy Cunningham in this as well. I mean, what was she in? Piranha 2, The Spawning. Not a lot. In fact, that's the only thing I'm going to say because the rest of her career doesn't seem very good. She was in
Okay.
Piranha 2, The Spawning, though. Which, I mean, when it's the best you got, that's the best you got. There's really nothing you can do about that, unfortunately. And then obviously, last but not least, we got Natasha Booty in this as well. She never really made it very far, it seemed like, after like doing this. She was in small roles and like how Stella got her groove back. She was Anita in Shattered Image. I probably know her best from an uncredited role in Miss March, and that's only because of my weird obsession with the whitest kids you know.
Okay. Okay.
Which Trevor Moore is a comedian from that group. He did that movie, but I don't know. He's fucking hilarious. She is not a very good actress, but anyways, to get into this movie now a little bit, I will fully admit that I was not happy about this one. I just want to make that clear. And so the plot synopsis for this film is: an American nurse living in Jamaica grows suspicious of the nearby group of voodoo practitioners, and that's what they give you for the description there. And it's it's just not. I'm just gonna go into it and my thoughts on it personally. I don't care for this movie. I despise the fact that they gave this a Tales from the Crypt segment whatsoever. And the only reason they did that is because of the fucking production team behind this.
Okay.
So for those who don't know, um, this is so fucking sad to say this, but some of the people that produced this, including Giller, Richard Donner, Walter Hill, Joel Silver, and Robert Zemeckis produced this movie. Just think about that for a moment, because those are some pretty fucking big names. That's a powerhouse of producers that made The Ritual, this piece of shit movie. But those were the big producers on Tales from the Crypt, so obviously it was an easy way for them to go and do that. And oh, look at this here. Here's Corey. How's it going, man? Thanks for tuning
What's
in.
up, Corey?
But I will just fully admit that I did not care for this movie. I think they could have came up with something like it's hard to sit there and compare it to anything because like if I'm going to really talk about this movie, especially on a podcast for Tales from the Crypt, I almost feel like it's just a disservice in general. Because as far as the Tales from the Crypt movie, this is worse than season 7. and season 7's not a good season of the show. That's when all the production money got lost. Everything went over to the UK. I mean, it went to fucking hell. And then there's this movie too, and it's like, if Tales from the Crypt didn't get kicked hard enough in the fucking nuts with season 7, now you got to stomp on it again with this movie.
One thing about this, I was watching it and I was vaguely remember it being released in theaters, but at the same time, it looked like it was.
I don't know if
It looked like it was like done with a television crew or something. It wasn't. Something wasn't right about it.
Yeah, I don't honestly. I don't think this actually got released in theater.
You think it was straight to video?
I'm looking it up right now because I know it says US. It came up in September 18th of 2002, and original title was just Ritual, and then it came out afterwards as Tales from the Crypt presents Ritual. I'm not seeing anything. I'm not even seeing box office numbers.
So you think it was like a HBO movie or a straight?
I don't even think it was out on HBO. No, it does say there was a. Well, I mean, theatrical release could be so fucking vague because it could have been released in a local theater.
Yeah.
So I mean, I would personally say it probably didn't get like wide distribution as far as that goes.
Mm-hmm.
It was probably a small run of theaters that got it. But I mean, I'm not. It's saying it had a theatrical release January 1st of 2002, which doesn't make sense because the release date for this movie in the US was September 18th of 2002. So it almost makes me wonder if January 1st, 2002 theatrical release was like, oh, we aired it at Sundance.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? Like, because that's kind of the vibe I'm getting from it. Because there is no information on this at all.
Yeah. Robert Redford told him to get it out of here with that shit.
Right? They wanted nothing to do with this.
Nothing to do with this.
Like, I'm not even seeing box office numbers. I mean, it says it was originally released for foreign countries in 2002.
Okay.
Philippines in 2003, Japan in 2006. It was not released in the United States and Canada until 2006, May 2nd on DVD, Blu-ray 2012. So, I mean, that right there is where you get your big overlap there because it was released originally in 2002 just as Ritual. 2006 is when we get the Tales from the Crypt part of it. So, I mean, yeah. But, I mean, yeah, I'm not seeing any kind of box office numbers or anything with this, though. So, I would assume it didn't get much of a
wide release.
Yeah. I'm trying to see if there was anything because I mean, I still don't see a fucking thing in there, dude. I mean, clearly nobody gives a fuck about this movie. See, really, Philippines. Yeah, exactly. But that was, the Tales from the Crypt presents part of it. The movie came out in 2002 for sure. Corey says, I didn't know this movie existed. You're lucky.
Yeah.
And unfortunately for you, now you know it exists, and I want to hear your opinions on it, Corey. And if you watch it through iTunes the way Corney here does, you're not going to see the Crypt Keeper segments. So make sure you go and Google those over on YouTube, and you can watch them through my buddy John's page through CryptTube Incorporated. He did a 4K release of it, which actually looks better than the original version.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Let's see here. He says foreign markets were probably small theaters that didn't do much, probably why it went to DVD. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he goes, stay away, Corey. Stay away. Yeah, it's bad. It is bad. But I mean,
Corey, me and you host the podcast together. We kind of ride or die. So if I saw it, you're going to have to see it.
There you go, guys. So Hopefully, I get to hear about Corey's thoughts on this movie because I'm going to tell you right now, it's not good. It's bad. Um, I guess going back into it, I'm just going to go ahead and finish up my thoughts on it because I don't have a lot to say about it. But IMDb gives this a 4.8. I think that's super fucking generous. I give this like a 1.5 to 2. It's not a fun movie. There's nothing really redeeming about it. The acting's not great. The CGI, even for 2002, is horrible. It's not good. There's really nothing really good about this movie. Even the plot, where we get the whole zombie thing and spoil. I'm not gonna spoil it for people because so many people don't know it doesn't exist. I can't do that. But with even the twist that you get, it's not a good one.
No, it's
it's,
not.
it's,
It's not.
it's like when you're watching a movie and you can see that twist coming from like 10 minutes in,
Yeah,
and then they
yeah.
don't do the twist till 10 minutes till the end. Yeah, it's like that. It's not fun. I mean, like I said, I give it like a 1.5, 2 at most. I didn't care for it. I am personally, even though I have nothing to do with Tales from the Crypt as far as the creation goes, I am ashamed that this is a Tales from the Crypt thing. like this is having one of those kids that you just like, man, I knew I should have aborted that one. It's bad. I I didn't care for it, but I am curious, Corney. Obviously, there's a large chunk of people who have not seen this movie. I mean, I'm seeing it all over the chat, so I'm just without spoiling it. What did you think, and where would you rate it?
Honestly, JB, I thought you were mad at me for inviting me to
No,
watch this film. Overall, I don't
I
know.
was
It
mad
was kind
at
of late. I was kind of late watching it last night, and it was a struggle.
you. Yeah,
The practical effect in the very beginning, I couldn't make any sense of what was going on. Because there was some boiling blood happening, and that was just a mess.
yeah.
Not really good practical effects for that day and age too.
No, not in the least bit.
Yeah, not much of a story. Overall, I just thought it was a horrible film. And I don't know. I can't even give it a 1.
Yeah, I can't say much about that. I give it a little bit of credit just because I don't know.
And I got
I
one
don't
better for
know
you.
why.
Seeing that opening that you just showed me, I probably would have gave myself, what I said, what the fuck. I probably would have go call you last night if I would have saw that opening because that was just that's just pure horrible.
Right. I mean,
And like you
yeah,
said, it's just a cheapness to it. After Bordello of Blood and Demon Knight, I I don't think Demon Knight made that much Bordello of Blood didn't make that much in the theater or whatever, but
right.
I thought those were two. I consider those two solid films. Had a lot
Oh,
of fun with
yeah.
those two.
Demon Knight has always been hailed as like the better of the films there as
Mhm.
far as that goes. Personally, like that's not how my opinion of it goes. As I mean, with that trilogy of films, if you will, I will say that Demon Knight is probably the most superior. I say Bordello of Blood's still a really good movie, but as far as Tales from the Crypt films in general, the 70s Amicus, Tales from the Crypt, and Vault of Horror are two of my all-time favorite
Yeah,
anthology films, period, to date. In
yeah,
fact, you've seen the Tales from the Crypt episode, all through the house, I'm
yeah,
assuming. I think the Amicus version is still better than
yeah,
that, and I just love it. Even just Jeff, Demonite is fantastic. Demonite is fucking amazing. Billy Zane's a great actor. You know who we don't get in this movie? Great acting, and we don't, maybe Billy Zane could have made the ritual better. Probably not. But I did not care for it. I'm ashamed of it being a Tales from the Crypt movie. Like I said, it's sad. It's very disappointing. I if I could have figured out a way to never do this one, I would have.
Yeah, oh, but you have two fun films and just had like a snore fest in this.
Yeah, I mean,
Even if like Bordello of Blood, I think Dennis Miller's in that film, isn't he? I actually like
yeah,
Dennis Miller in that film, and I don't really like Dennis Miller.
nobody
Um,
likes Dennis. Nobody likes Dennis Miller, dude.
but I'm still better than this film.
Right. In
It's
fact,
just
I've heard a bunch of like the behind the scenes stuff, especially from that movie. You know who hates Dennis Miller?
oh,
Everybody that was part of that movie except for Dennis Miller.
really.
Dude, everybody hates Dennis Miller, dude. I'm not even 100% sure Dennis Miller likes himself at this point. It's bad. Oh, yeah, he gets a lot of hate. Hudunk badunk. Well, there's then there, motherfucker. Yeah, yeah. I should have had Jeff join me for this one too. Ruined two people's nights. Bordello Blood is insane fun. Bordello is awesome. It is. I mean, all their like, I guess like I don't know. Bordello Blood was the first time I saw a chick with three nipples, and it made me happy as a very young man. Like, I think I was like 7 or 8 when I saw that movie. So yeah, yeah.
But those
You
three
know,
nipples weren't as good as the three boobed
Total
woman
Recall.
in Total Recall. Yeah, yeah.
No, no, you are correct there. And that was the first time I saw a woman with three boobs was in Total Recall. You know, I can base a lot of my life on what kind of boobs I saw at that moment in time. But both those parts of my life were very well remembered with those two movies. That's for damn sure. Well, yeah, I feel like any man that says differently would be lying. So I mean, oh man. But anyways, dude, I mean, that's kind of what I thought about the movie. I didn't care for it. Obviously, Corney doesn't give a fuck about this movie much
Yeah.
either. Uh, but
Did I do something to you though, JB? That's my question.
no,
You
no,
just said
man. I
okay.
mean,
I'm just
I,
asking.
I had a few things that were planned out, and I was like, all right, I want to get Corny back on, and I was like, I haven't seen The Ritual in a while, and it's between The Ritual and then season 7 is where I'm at, and it's like because I didn't think that you probably participated in watching the cartoon quite a bit.
I vaguely remember episodes on it, but I'll have to rewatch. I remember when it was coming on because I
Right.
want to say that might have been on CBS on Saturday morning, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We all remember the exact time we saw the three boobs in Total Recall. Exactly. This is JB just like sinfully paying about it rent. I mean,
Friends
I
like
have
this, who needs
before.
friends?
I mean, I definitely have before. There's no arguing that. Like, if you just go and look through the catalog of episodes I've done, it's like I've done space truckers. You know, I had 3 people on, including the director of the movie, when I watched Monstered, which is basically the same movie as Jack Frost, but instead of a killer snowman, it's a killer poop man.
I've never heard of this film.
Dude, you, Jeff's not joking when he says that. Like I'll sit there like really and start thinking like, all right, what are the weirdest movies that nobody has ever seen? Because it's there's nothing more fun than talking to a group of friends about a movie, especially one that nobody's heard of.
Okay.
And because then everybody's going into it with the exact same fucking expectations. There's nothing extra out of it. Monster is nuts. I hope you've seen it, Jeff, because it is a great movie. It really is. In fact, if you like that movie, let me know because I got Dan West's phone number and I'll talk to him. Oh, he says, I've seen Monster Corny. You're not missing anything. Well, if you want to watch the sequel with me, Jeff, at some point, let me know. I can have Dan come on for it. The sequel that he made was called Retard Dead. It's like a zombie movie. Definitely nothing politically correct about any of these guys' stuff. I'm going to just throw that out there right now. Not a very woke group of people. But anyways, I've definitely Jeff says it's not great. It's like lower level trauma, but it's fun. Whatever. I like some of that trauma stuff too. Fucking Sergeant Kabuki Man might be one of my favorite movies ever.
I hadn't seen that in years.
Oh, really? I used to watch that one on the oh man, I'm trying to remember the name of the channel. I could be
I
wrong
want to
about
say
the name.
USA used to have them all the
I think it
time.
was the G4 channel though. The
Okay,
gaming
okay.
channel that Olivia Munn was on back in
Yeah,
the day.
yeah. They were playing those at one point.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
There we go.
But I want to say my first time seeing like Toxic Avenger was like on might have been Up All Night on USA.
Yeah.
Gilbert Godfrey was probably hosting back then.
Yeah, I think my first time watching that one especially was because of my dad. My dad was always a huge Toxic Avenger fan and loved those cheesy movies. And I saw Class of Nukem High when I was like, I mean, these are movies I saw before I fucking hit puberty.
Okay.
So I mean, it was a pretty young time, but yeah, my dad was always obsessed with those weird, cheesy kind of movies.
Okay, Toxic Avenger was one of those films too that was like an R-rated film, but they came back around and had a cartoon about it. Because I remember
Yeah,
Toxic Avenger being a
yeah, they definitely made a cartoon about it, and Toxic Crusaders, and they
yeah.
did a comic book and everything too. Which I mean, it's a fun comic, that's for sure. If you ever get a chance to check it out. And Jeff says that my first exposure to Toxic Avenger was the cartoon. And I think we've officially hit the point where we've talked more about Toxic Avenger than this movie.
Well,
But hey, we had to have something to talk about, right? 'Cause this movie sucked. I will say I am. We'll definitely have to. You know what? We I how about we review the next Ritual movie like in a couple of weeks or something? Well,
okay, a couple months. Okay.
no, I was just gonna say a couple of weeks. I mean, if you want to wait a couple of months, we can.
I don't know. Just depend on when I'm not busy,
All right.
Like,
Well, yeah, you get a hold of me when you're free.
okay.
We'll set that up because I mean, I made you do the bad Ritual movie. We might as well watch
We'll
the
get
good one.
a good ritual movie.
Yeah, I mean that one was actually a lot of fun. I wouldn't. I've seen it like 4 times. I wouldn't mind watching it again either.
Yeah, I've seen it twice. It's also a film called "You Won't Make It Out of Here Alive" that's kind of connected to that.
Oh, really? I haven't
No
seen
one
that.
gets out alive. I think that's connected to that film.
Huh. I didn't know that.
Yeah,
That might be worth really checking out.
that's actually on Netflix also.
I would like to see them expand into that universe a lot more. Like it seems like they had a lot going on. That was for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we'll
but
either watch that movie, The Ritual, or we'll go somewhere and actually see somebody do a ritual somewhere. And
I'm down for that too. I
Yeah,
mean,
it might be better than this film.
I don't know if it'd be better.
Somebody get tossed in a volcano or something.
Well, I mean, yeah, that would suck. I mean, we could, yeah. Yeah, it'd be hard to figure out a way to actually for us both to see a ritual and it'd be the same one.
Yeah.
Me in Ohio, you in Alabama. I mean, we gotta get a good meetup spot, which a meetup spot would be in the Bible Belt, so we probably wouldn't want to be part of any of those rituals going on.
No, 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 no.
So
We don't want to
I
have
mean,
any
yeah, we don't want to deal with that.
of
And I agree completely with that. So I guess, anyways, man.
Well,
What's Joe versus the volcano? Yeah, yeah. He says get Corney back on for something good. He made it through this. I'm trying. And, Corney knows that he's damn near. He's welcome back on whenever the hell he wants to. That's for damn sure.
okay.
Um, I will say though, I'm wanting to apologize to people because we got season 7 coming up, which means we got some not as fun episodes coming up.
I'm trying to think of an episode that was on season 7. It's been years since I've watched.
The one that most people remember was called The Third Pig, and it had Bobcat in it, and it was basically the Three Little Pig cartoon thing. That was the last episode that they did.
Okay.
Other than that, though, I mean, there wasn't like a whole lot of shit that was going on with these ones. Trying to think of the most like memorable one that I remember from season 7, and that's probably the episode Cold War, which had Ewan McGregor in it. But I mean, there's nothing, there's not a lot of huge things in here. Like what the episode Smoke Wings, I know that one has Daniel Craig in it.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, Daniel Craig from 1996 too. Eddie Izzard's in an episode in Confession. So you get that. I mean, there's just not a lot going on with that last season, unfortunately. Like I said, the production got switched around. It all moved. I know Bob Hoskins does an episode. He's actually does the next episode that I'm doing,
Okay.
Fatal Capers, which has Leslie Phillips, Greg Weiss, and James Saxon in it. But I mean, even then, it's just, man, it's just this season is just, I don't know. When you go into an anthology series, you always know that you're going to hit that part, and unfortunately, this is that part. And I'm not
Yeah.
going to give on it. I'm going to give everybody what I feel I've given so far. I still have the cartoon coming up, which I have some redeemable things to say about that, as well as the game show too. This season does only have 14 episodes, so I know it's going to go by pretty quick.
Okay.
But I hope everyone enjoys what I'm going to do with it. I'm going to try my
How,
best.
how long did the cartoon run?
Well, there was Tales from the Crypt Keeper and the new Tales from the Crypt Keeper, so it was 2 seasons in 1 season.
Okay.
So I mean, it's 3 years in total. I think most of them are actually available on Tubi for free.
Okay.
So I mean, people can really check that shit out too. I will say that I've been throwing out some ideas on what I'm going to be doing after this, and obviously with a show name like Tales from the Podcast, I don't necessarily have to do just Tales from the Crypt. So by the time I get to the end here, guys, and the last few episodes, I will be putting up some polls over on the Facebook page or wherever they allow polls to still be relevant. Where I haven't done a poll in so long, I don't even fucking remember where I can even do that. But I'm gonna let the audience decide on where this show goes next and what kind of series. I will say that
If it's Tales for the Podcast, you could be telling stories about podcasts.
right? I just tell stories about different. So I watched this episode
Of Joe Rogan's experience.
just do other people. You just tell stories, make up the stories too. At that. Like they're not even real. I heard Rogan was a real dick during that one. Like just make it all up.
Yeah, he's smoking pot on one episode.
I do that show for like 4 episodes before I get a lawsuit.
You can cover. It's a lot of Tales for Podcasts. You could talk about Adam Carolla. You can talk about Joe Rogan. Yeah, it's a lot of
And there was a game show, by the way, Jeff. Yeah, it lasted 1 season. See, I'm kind of hoping because I'm gonna get, like I said, I'm gonna give the audience a chance to vote. I know there's a few different series that I want to get into. And one of them, I know that Jeff and my buddy Ron both want to join me for the entire series. Which, when I do that one, I definitely want to invite everybody who wants to be part of it. But especially considering it's like 6 episodes, Garth Marenghi's Dark Place, which would be a fun one to do, like all 6 episodes. But that's gonna be on the list, as well as stuff like Are You Afraid of the Dark,
Okay.
Goosebumps.
You think you'll go to like Tales from the Dark Side or anything like that? Or
Yeah, I'm gonna put all that on the list. So I mean,
okay, okay,
let people vote, see where they want me to go, and go through the entire series and continue this my love of horror anthology going.
okay.
I will say though, unfortunately, if somebody does decide to screw me over with Twilight Zone, I'm probably not going to do the latest stuff.
Okay.
I no offense to those who like the newer stuff, it wasn't for me.
Okay.
I just didn't really care for it, so I might skip some of that. But I do like the original Twilight Zone as well as that first or that second coming back or whatever.
But the second, when they had to come back, they were just retelling original stories, if I'm right.
Yeah, I
Right.
believe so.
Okay. Did the
Jeff wants it to
latest
be
do the
Dark
same thing?
Place. What did you say?
That the latest, you know, the Peel Twilight Zone, were they retelling classic stories or were they any originals?
I not 100% sure. And
Okay.
actually, you know what? I might as well just do it because from the looks of it online, it looks like it only lasted one season.
Yeah, yeah, they got canceled after the first season.
Yeah, so I mean, obviously, I wasn't the only one that cared about it. I mean, I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of stuff in there. Just I didn't personally care for all of it. One thing I can say after just looking at this real quick, obviously, I can't speak for everybody, but man, do I miss Key and Peele. I like Jordan Peele as this, with this horror. Don't get me wrong; it has nothing to do with that. But god damn, was he a funny motherfucker when he was doing comedy? Like, I'm not sure if he's messing up by doing horror, but god damn that I love the funny shit. And he says, I think the Peel stuff was the new stuff and maybe reimaginings of old stories.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, that's what it was looking like
If
by
you
going
do
through some of the stuff.
if you do Twilight Zone, my favorite episode of the Twilight Zone is the Howling Man.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my favorite episode of Twilight Zone.
I always like the oh god, what's the name of her?
Also, time
like
enough at last, huh?
I like the doll one.
Oh, okay.
Is it Talking Tina or whatever?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And Jeff says I should just cover Key and Peele. It's not a horror. Do a podcast based off of a horror or a comedy sketch show. Real. I mean, it is a funny one though. That's for sure. Anyways, though, let's go ahead and wrap this up, dude.
Okay.
Obviously, we don't suggest anybody watch this movie except for Corey. So, Corey, make sure you watch this movie and let us know what you think about it. Definitely want to thank you, Corney, man, coming on. It's always a fucking blast having you on here.
I just didn't know you hated me so much.
I don't hate you.
Okay,
God damn it.
okay.
I gave you like the best redemption ever, by the way, of letting you come back on for the Good Ritual movie. I mean, that's a good movie, and I haven't even done it yet. I mean, you can even pick the movie we do. I mean,
Okay. We'll
they're
do a ritual. But I'm just gonna hold it in my pocket. So one day I'm just gonna call you. I'll say we're gonna do the ritual, and you.
It doesn't even have to be the ritual. I mean, you can pick the movie. You can call me next week and be like, "Hey, we're gonna do a different movie." I'm like, we're gonna do Manborg. I can care less what it is. I owe you one. I accept that for what it is, and you can take it up whenever you're ready.
Okay.
So I'm down for that. That's for sure. And for those interested, you can check out Corney over at From the Canopy movie film reviews, which is on the From the Canopy network, which you can find the YouTube over here at youtube.com/@FromTheCanopyNetwork. I know you guys are also on Instagram. I believe also at From the Canopy Network.
I think it's FT. I don't know. Shit.
Yeah, I'm
What
going to go
is it?
ahead and look all that up right there.
Yeah,
and
look
get
it
it.
up for me because
Yeah.
I forget.
Yeah. And then I know you guys are on Facebook for
Yeah.
sure. And oh yeah, it's FTC Net.
Okay.
FTCNET over on Instagram. I'm not sure if you guys are on Twitter. I don't have you guys on Twitter. So
We are on Twitter, and I think
are you?
it's
Yeah, I would not be surprised if you were. And oh yeah, it's probably also the same kind of thing there. Then is it probably?
It's just From Canopy on Twitter.
Oh yeah, so this is From the Canopy. So you can check him out over there as well. Looks like Jeff wants us to do Satan's Little Helper. But yeah, I mean, you guys check out them for sure. I strongly suggest if you're really going to get into them to check out that YouTube link, and because the YouTube link I think is one of the coolest things you guys have set up for your stuff, just because you have it divided out where you got so many different things that are actually done underneath the From the Canopy.
Yeah, Corey also does with co-host Bob. He does a review show called Classics of Cinematics, and they just cover older films.
Yeah, he's always tagging me in a lot of that stuff, which is awesome because I mean it's perfect. A lot of that stuff is more relevant to the shit that I watch.
Yeah.
But I mean he's
I think this week they covered Akira. So
yeah. But I know they do the those classics of cinema. He does his own unboxing stuff as well there too. But if you go in there and go to like it's on the channels, but basically like he has it all separated out too. So I mean you can see what episodes are where and everything. And he has like smaller episode type things too, so you can go in there and see just certain clips of certain things. I mean the way that Corey did a lot of that, it was pretty good. I mean, he did a fucking pretty good job on it. I need somebody like Corey who's going to go behind my channel and fix it up for me. I just
one of the things Corey did on the unboxing is he unboxed Galactus, the figure.
Oh, like he got that?
He got it, and that's one thing I'm jealous of. If I'm ever given the ability to teleport, I will go and teleport to his apartment and grab Galactus and liberate him.
Yeah, I see the video right there now. That looks pretty. That thing is fucking huge.
Yes.
Oh my god, damn, that thing is huge. I always like seeing his like, because it's something that like I never really got into in my life, but I always like seeing his stuff with like the shoes.
Yeah.
It's like some of those are just like, there's no way that's a real pair of shoes. Like the one time he sent me a picture, they had like fanny packs on them and stuff, and then like,
what is it, the Boba Fett shoe?
I don't remember what it was called, but they had fanny packs on them. And then because he showed me what they were, and then a few weeks later I saw the unboxing video. I'm like, this motherfucker bought fanny pack shoes. Like, this is real. Like, there's no way that's real. It's like, no, I mean, it's just interesting. It's different. It's cool.
Yeah.
Like, it's things you would never really expect. But I don't know. It's fun to watch, that's for sure. And I mean, you guys have a really, really good chemistry between you guys too. So it's fun to watch, man.
Thanks.
I enjoy checking you guys out for sure. And hopefully everybody over here is going to go and at least give you a subscribe and check you out as well. Did you have anything that you wanted to add to that before I go ahead and get us out of here?
No, I'm just on the show. I'm on Facebook, Cornelius Burroughs, on Twitter at Cornelius1976, and I'm on Instagram, Cornelius Burroughs.
There you guys go check him out. All that will be in the show links. And with that being said, the crypt is closed.
Thanks for listening, kiddies. You're all a scream.